Squares of a sorted array. Let's start with reading the question. Given an integer array nums sorted in non-decreasing order, return an array of the squares of each number sorted in non-decreasing order. So basically in the input you will be given an array that is sorted in non-decreasing order. That means the numbers are in increasing order, right? Or there can be a possibility where there are same numbers, so -1 can be followed by another -1, so it will be non-decreasing. That is the difference between non-decreasing and normally sorted array. In normally sorted array, if you say, then strictly the next number should be greater than the previous number, but when it is a non-decreasing order, there might be a repetition of the same equivalent numbers, right? Now you have to, what we need to do is, if I square all the numbers, this -4 it can be squared to 16, -1 can be, let me just copy this, -4 -1 0 3 10, -4 -1 0 3 and 10. This is the input array that is given to us. So if we individually square all the elements, what will we get? 16 1 0 9 and 100. Now I want this in sorted order, so it will be 0 1 9 16 and 100. So the simple approach is direct. You can just make the square array, and after that you can just sort this particular array. In order to calculate the square of all these numbers of the given array, you will need one complete iteration, which will be, this step will need order of n time in order to execute, and obviously if you want to sort, it will obviously be taking n log n time, right? But our idea is to solve it in order of n. So this is the most simple approach, this is the brute force approach. In n log n you can obviously solve it, but our plan is to solve it in order of n. Now what is the intuition? Let's jump directly into it. If this is the given array, guys, you can see a couple of things. If the numbers are positive, obviously this number, then this number, then this number, this will be in order for the square numbers. The square of 10 will be greater than the square of 3, and it will be ultimately greater than the square of 0. But in this case, you can see in the negative numbers, towards the right it will be greater, then it will keep decreasing. So it will be so the square of the numbers will keep decreasing in this way from the last, and if there are negative numbers, it will obviously be placed at the starting of the array, because the parent array, given array, is sorted. So the negative numbers will be placed at the beginning, and the greater magnitude negative number will be placed at the beginning only. So 4 square will be obviously greater than 1 square, so it is also decreasing from this end. Now what I am saying is, I will take 2 pointers. My first will be my start pointer, which will be pointing to index 0, and my end pointer, which will be pointing to the last index, which is n minus 1 or 4 in this case. Now what I will do is, I will compare the math.absolute value of nums of start and nums of end. I will compare the math.absolute value of this two. Whichever is greater, my new array that I will be creating, my answer array, I will be iterating this answer array from the back only, and whichever is greater among these two, whichever is greater, I will take that square. So obviously 10 is greater than 4, the math.absolute value of this two I am comparing. So obviously 10 is greater, so I write 100 over here. Then what I do is, I do end minus minus, so my end comes over here. After that what I do, I compare math.absolute of 3, which is 3, and math.absolute of 4 minus 4, which is 4. So among these two, obviously 4 is greater, so I will do square of 4, and 16 will be filled over here, and after that what I will do is, I will move my start, I will move my start one place ahead. Now I will do math.absolute of, sorry, minus 1 was over here, not minus 10, it was minus 1. If minus 10 was there, it would be over here. So minus 1 is over here, minus 1 and 3, which is the greater absolute value, 3. So 3 ka square, which is 9, and my end moves over here. After that, again I compare both the values, 1 and 0, 1 is greater, so 1 square will come over here, and after that my start will move over here. After that, obviously guys, we should not stop when start and end is pointing to the same location. We should stop when start and end has already crossed each other. So basically among these two conditions, start is less than end, and while start is less than equals to end, which one should we prefer? Obviously guys, this one, because we should still calculate the square and do all the operations when these two are equal. We should not stop doing it. If this condition is if we write this condition, obviously this case will be ignored and 0 will not be placed over here. So take special care about this. S should be less than equals to end and not only less than end. So pretty simple guys, Leetcode easy. You need to just take 2 pointers, keep comparing which one of the absolute value is greater. Whichever is greater, you will place that particular element in the last place of the newly created array or your answer array, whatever you should call it. I would highly recommend you guys to stop the video over here and try to code it on your own. Otherwise, I will just show you. Cool. So over here I have to return an integer array. Let's make that particular array int suppose answer equals to new int. I would like to create it as the same size as the nums array. So obviously n, what is my n? Int n is my nums dot length, right? After that what I need to do is I will need to iterate through the array from the last. So I will take an index variable. So for example index equals to n minus 1, right? My int start will be your 0 and my int end will be n minus 1, right? Yes. After that what I will do, I will continue my operation until my start is less than equals to end. And what do I need to do at every step? I need to check if my last element ka absolute value is less than or greater than the absolute value of the first element, which is like math dot if math dot absolute abs of nums of start, if that is greater than math dot abs of nums of end. If this is the case guys, obviously my negative number, the absolute value of the negative number is greater, then I should include that negative number only in my array. So my answer array's index position, which will be obviously after placing one element, I should decrement the value of index. What I should do is I should initialize that with my nums of start is greater, so nums of start into nums of start, right? Else if the case is different, if my nums of end is greater, math dot absolute of nums of end is greater, then my answer of index should be equals to nums of end is greater, so I should fill it with the square of nums of end, right? Remember we are filling the array from the end position, the answer array is getting filled from the end position, so obviously the greater number will be placed at the end. And obviously guys, when start is greater, once we include that answer, I should increment start should increment and not end, and whenever we are doing it for end, we should decrement the value of end. Once we are done with this, once my start and end crosses, all the values will be compared and whichever is the greater, it will be getting filled from the last position, right? And by the end of this loop, my entire answer array will be ready and I can just return that. Pretty simple. Yeah, it is accepted, and also it also beats 100%. That's the fastest solution.